Aha! Salutations all! I have made an impromptu stand so that you don't have to deal with my incessant early doors Parkinson's or whatever it is that's making my hand shake when I hold the camera. This is a bit zoomed in. I will work on figuring out a way to do that other than maybe just pushing this out, angling this up a bit more. This will do for now. But welcome to the second episode of my hobby series. Now, at the end of the last one, the introduction episode, that sort of thing, I said I would go and I would do a bit of work on these. I'll be honest, I haven't. These, I have a few theories in my head for what I want to do with them lore-wise. What I've done is I've basically gone into the history of all the stuff I have in the past, and I've looked at what lore I have written before, and I've tried to sort of logically collect it, because I don't want them to be stupidly OP in lore. I want them to actually be feel like they fit in the lore with no Mary Sue's, apart from maybe one character, just for the sake of, hey, I have a character that can, get through anything. But even then, that's boring. I'd quite like to ground them in realism. I quite like the utilitarian approach to Space Marines that the Raptors have and such. They will not be Raven Guard successors, I can confirm that, because I just don't like the idea of having Terminators that are stealthy. Actually, I both love the idea and how amazingly, outstandingly bad it sounds, and don't. Now, this has led me on to something. When it comes to the lore, am a massive fan of, I would say there are three legions that probably, sticks true to my heart. The first is the Dark Angels. I have incomplete models upstairs that I might bring down to this table, finish at some point, and show off, because I do like my conversion, and they are, if I do say so myself, I do quite like the conversion work I've done on them. However, these are not going to be Dark Angels. I read the Lion book. I love the Lion book. I think that book was really a very good foundation for hopefully future Dark Angels lore that's pretty good. So yeah, that's crossed out. The issue is the other two legions that out of the 18 that I find to be my favorite are the Night Lords and the Alpha Legion. The Alpha Legion, as you can probably tell from my channel profile, being a picture of Alfarius, they're up there. And I think the idea is I'm probably going to try and make these guys some sort of, I think the idea was Thousand Suns Night Lords hybrid. Although I know a lot of people don't like hybrids, which I'm not keen on it myself. However, I like the idea that everyone in this force has not a good psychic level, but a level of psychic ability as minimal as it is. And that's one of the things that they unlock once you go for the veteran company, which I have actually figured that bit out. So when it came to this figure, I wanted, because I like utilitarian, I thought, why would the stealth guys be painted bright silver? Surely that's bad for them. So what I did is I made the Phobos armor that I have black. Now, this is one, because I love, and I mean genuinely, I really like Black Templar. Or, what's the other one I have? Well, there's Black Templar, and then there's whatever the other black paint is that I have that's contrast. I think they are very nice colours, and I find them satisfying to use, and I think that's important when you're making a paint scheme, especially for someone like me where painting isn't always my favourite thing. But as you can see, the left hand and the right boot are silver. For me, what I think I'm going to do with this, and that's because I kind of wanted to pay homage to the Death Watch some way in the paint scheme. And the way I'm going to work with this, this isn't finished, by the way. I would say none of these models are properly finished, but they are work in progress. What I'm going to do is, I think, make it so that all of these guys, you can also tell, are veteran first company, because they've got silver right foot, silver left hand. And what this does is allows me to expand my color variation. You see, I would quite like to have it where, for example, the second company have a red fist, red foot. I know it's not exactly the easiest way to teleport companies, but the other thing that I feel like fits the utilitarian vibe I'm going for is, if I'm a notable space marine and I'm like one of the best ones and I walk onto the field, I'm instantly going to draw the attention of my enemy. So I feel like this makes it distinct enough where if you look at them as an ally, you can go, oh yeah, they're they're veterans. And if the chapter also know where to look, don't they? But if this is basically just with a different color fist, it implies that it would be a squad marking more so, even when it's a company marking. So I think that's the direction I'm going to go down with that. To get into the mojo of painting these up properly, the next thing I'm probably going to try and start painting on, and ideally finish first for this army, is this dreadnought. Reason being, I love dreadnoughts. I think they are really cool. If the Iron Hands didn't have such an uncomfortable scheme to paint, I would consider painting more Iron Hands. See, this is what I mean about the camera as well. Like, if it were up here, I think that's what I'm going to try and do, just get it to be like that height. So this is my, I'm probably going to base this within the next 24 hours and try and at least get it started. As you can see, I've made a few minor adjustments. I just stuck that on there. We got that up there. I don't think I added that. I think that came with it. Just thought I'd add a few little things here or there, so that when I add the, when I add potential chapter marking up there, it will feel like it's got something else and it's not just all that's there. I don't really want to overload it, but I do want it to feel like there is content on the model. However, one of my friends, who I believe I think I mentioned briefly in the last video, is looking at getting into 40k, and one thing he wants to do is go for the Sisters of Battle. I think he's potentially looking to properly get into it in the summer. He's starting with 500 points-ish, because I recommended that don't do what I do and just get loads of models and then have loads of unpainted models. Otherwise you have this problem. But I know there's a thing of painting models before you get new ones. And I'm going to use that as motivation to spur myself on to paint some of these guys. For example, however, when it comes to paint schemes, as I mentioned before, I do sort of try and test a few different ideas here and there. Where have I put that? Where have I put him? My eyes deceive me. Oh yeah. I do try and dabble and just see what I try and figure out what I like, what I think could work. I do quite like this scheme, but I feel like it's too basic. This, I'll be honest, was me starting to just make the, I've forgotten his name. Cadus, I think it is, Brother Cadus from, not Total War, from Dawn of War. So I might get back to him one day just to have a cool, a character model. I don't really specialize in liking them, but I don't mind them, so, Plus, I really like Eliminators, and that leads me into my next plan. So, as I say, to match my friend, I want to so I can pace myself, put myself at the same pace when it comes to making models. I want to get a new army, and I'm basically at a point where I want to work between either doing Space Marines with a twist, which is still Space Marines at the end of the day, and I have a lot of them, so I wouldn't need to potentially buy as many models, but, it gives me room to work on. Or the other idea, which would require me to get better at painting big models, which that Dreadnought will help me with, hopefully. And I do also have a Valkyrie somewhere. But I think it's nowhere near me right now, so I need to try and find that, build that, and give that a go. Because what I'm tempted to do, if he's going Sisters, I thought it wouldn't make much sense. We wouldn't be able to have a narrative if I've also got Space Marines. So what I'm going to do, I think, and these are where my two options are. I'm either going to start a project I tried to get a grip for this many years ago, ignore this silver, that's just me experimenting with dry brush on this model. This model is basically like a Primaris Alpha Legionnaire. I've seen a few things on the internet about them. And I, as I say, they're my favorite Legion. I would love to. I just don't feel like they fit into 40k overly well. But, you know, there's no harm in giving them a go. And for example, like, you know, this is something I custom built, which I quite like. I think he would be a very cool, like, stealth op soldier that I think could work as an Alpha Legion scheme similar to that. The only issue is, when I was looking at this, I was like, it looks a bit dark. I need to try and find a way to make it more vibrant. So I'm trying to figure out if it's better to potentially, with the contrast, mix it and then apply it, or if it's better to, you know, just try and, rather than using the Achillean green contrast, find an alternative. Like, I like the effect Achillean green gave me on this cloak, you know, which I guess is kind of the job of contrast. But at the like, when it comes to just standard plate armor, I don't feel like it's too amazing. That might just be me. And also bear in mind, I applied this before I fully understood how contrast paints work, which is why it looks quite blotchy and dark and stuff potentially. So I'm probably going to give this another go. I'll find another Marine I have that it's kind of just throw away, paint him up with these colors and see how I feel about that. If you have any recommendations on getting a lighter shade of this, please let me know. I've been looking around and nothing seems to sort of yell at me going, yo, this could work. So, yeah. Speaking of, it would also allow for me to use like highly customized Marines. This, for example, was going to be a Dark Angel. Oh, but if I made like a what's it called? Alpha Legion successor, it would give me reason to just use a lot of the models that look like they're built for one group. Like, if I just painted this up blue and did the Dark Angel pauldron in Dark Angel colors, then I could use the headcanon of like, oh, well, that's where they have been undercover in the past, and as a result just kept the, you know, kept the battle for. For reference as well, I will say, these are all like assault intercessors is the gimmick. I know he's got a shield, that's just rule of cool. I know he's got this, that's rule of cool. Like, a lot of what I do is rule of cool. I don't try and make it be like, well, he's an assault intercessor, but actually he's got a save, you know. No. I'm just here to I just like things that look cool, and I'm not trying to, like, abuse any form of meta. Although I could technically be accused of doing that for playing Space Marines. I don't know the current stance. As I say, still never played a game. But from what I see, there's a lot of that. The other idea I have, which I, in a way, am more excited about, but I think it would be a lot more difficult for me to master. If they're playing Sisters, as we all know, the Sisters do not like... I'll just put him here so there's something to look at. The Sisters do not like Chaos. Now, if I were to then go and make a Chaos army, I'm not a big fan of the Chaos Space Marines. The Demons, again, not a massive fan. Now, although they have no proper rule set, I kind of have been considering the idea of using a Chaos Guard force. Now, here's where it would get a bit unique, for me at least. I would want to run a Chaos Guard force, predominantly just tanks. So with his 500 points, I think I figured out where I would be able to run a Lehman Russ and a Rogel Dawn to counteract the Sisters battle, start collecting, or what's it called, combat patrol. This would give me a lot more time to focus on the individual models and try and work on better techniques. It would also, you know, I want to work on more big models, just because I want to, as I say, try and work on getting better at a bigger, like, variety of things. And I feel like there's only so far you can go when it comes to minis. So I'll put this one here instead, actually. That way it's something more flavorful. So, yeah, that's one thing I'm looking at. And the plan is, you know, provided all goes well and he enjoys the game and I enjoy the game, continue working on those armies. It would also mean I wouldn't have all of these minis because I'm a big fan of using the bigger, like fewer models. That's why I like the Custodes army. It's why I've never looked into properly trying to get to Tyranids. Although I will say, actually, I did have a go with this. So I just wanted to see how Ball Red applied to whichever base. I think this is Corax White. And I will say it came out quite nice, and I might have a go at like working on a Tyranid force at some point. I know this is kind of like the foundations for Behemoth. I don't really like the blue purpley choices Behemoth has, so I'd probably look at maybe something maybe more akin to like I was thinking like a vibrant green that would heavily contrast with the red. That's just a bit of a tidbit though. This is me just messing around with the model. Like I can see focusing. Like I can see there's a oh, it's not gonna work. I can see there's a white speck there that I would need to work on. But this is just like a brief sort of unload, I guess. If you're, I'd be interested to hear what people think would be like cooler. Would it be like an Alpha Legion, pretty much entirely converted Marines, or a Chaos like Guard force entirely of vehicles? I think the other thing, by the way, sorry, when it came to it, the 500 points I think were a Lehman Russ, a Rogel Dawn, and the Solar Leon, whatever, the guy on the horse, to put it bluntly. And I wouldn't really, like, I would try and corrupt him a bit. I'd still need to work out how I would corrupt Guard, but there's probably a bajillion videos on this website that I could find that, so, yeah. Oh, wait, no way. Oh my gosh, it was zoomed in. Sorry, I didn't realize. Right. One more thing is, I know this is kind of like rambly, spewy, not much going on. I'm going to look at potentially making some more like higher quality content, you know. If you have any suggestions of things you'd like to see, I'm currently very limited in my budget. I have a lot of sprues around me of like Necrons, what are they called? Necrons, as the Tyranids from Leviathan. I probably have enough to muster up a few more Space Marines. But if you're interested in seeing like any sort of conversion work or things, please do let me know, because it's something that I really enjoy doing. For example, yeah, as I say, when I was working on trying to get better fur with green stuff, because I'm trying to get better at sculpting as well. So yeah, please just let me know, like or if there's like, for example, a Deathwatch kill team based off of, you know, so this chapter, or sorry, this war where there were these chapters or things like that. Yeah, then please just chuck stuff down in the comments, because why not? You know, I am looking to try and get my mojo back into 40k. I'm looking to try and actually get projects sorted. And I know if other people request them, I am more likely to be motivated because I'll feel more complete in doing so. But anyways, yeah, I will leave it at that, because this has somehow already got to 20 minutes of me just rambling. And hopefully, I reckon my goal is I'll probably try and upload the next video in like 2 days' time, because I want to try and complete that Dreadnought by then. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Much appreciated. Chuck your thoughts and stuff below, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye.